Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. Welcome back yet again everybody. It's another day off, therefore it's another review on a fragrance that I personally was very interested in trying and reviewing. Today we're going to talk about a fragrance that comes from the house of Electimuss. And the house of Electimuss actually is a relatively new brand if you compare it to the other more established niche brands. Now the founders of Electimuss, they are from a brand that we already know in the niche world, Boadicea the Victorious. So when Electimuss came out, actually a lot of people expected some really good things out of this house, and I would say that for the most, a lot of their fragrances have delivered. I have reviewed a lot of them, one of my favorites being Black Caviar and the other one being Electimuss Imperium. Today we are going to review one of two of their recent 2022 releases that actually came in as a couple because they share the same concept. And today's fragrance that we are going to talk about is none other than Electimuss Persephone'S Patchouli, folks. All right, Persephone'S Patchouli. This is one out of two of the recent releases of Electimuss, the second one being Patchouli of the Underworld. As you guys know, Electimuss, the company, when it comes to like the concepts behind their fragrances, they do dwell a lot on Roman and Greek mythology or history. And this one right here, Persephone'S Patchouli and Patchouli of the Underworld, are both related to the Greek mythology of the underworld. Now, if you don't know who Persephone is, she is the daughter of Zeus and is the wife of Hades. She is the queen of the underworld, as well as the deity or goddess of fertility. When these two came out, not only did the name catch my attention, but also the presentation. The green bottles really caught my attention. And to me, Electimuss has nice bottles, okay? It's the same design all throughout. However, that green color is really, really inviting. As a collector that likes aesthetics in the bottles or the bottle design, I really like the bottle design of these two right here. But more importantly, it's the patchouli, guys, okay? Obviously, patchouli is going to be the focus of these two fragrances, Patchouli of the Underworld, Persephone'S Patchouli. So one of the things that I had in my mind was, man, how are they going to put patchouli out there in this fragrance? How is it going to develop in these fragrances? And so that is what I'm really going to answer, because I'm sure that a lot of y'all really want to know, how does patchouli fit in these fragrances? Before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Again, your subscriptions really truly help the channel. When you view the ads in every single video, that really helps really finance a lot of the sample buying that I do. So if you can, please do watch the ads. Please watch the videos in their entirety because that really helps the channel. And of course, like and subscribe. Okay, here we go. Let's spray this thing right now. Persephone'S Patchouli by Electimuss. Let's go. Oh, wow. Wow. Man, this is lovely. I wish I had made a first sniff video on Persephone'S Patchouli, because this is a wow. I think that the opening salvo of Persephone'S Patchouli is a wow. There are three notes here on this first part of Persephone'S Patchouli. You've got plum, you've got cardamom, and you've got pomegranate. And what a fusion. What a fusion, guys. I'll tell you. First and foremost, the plum. So if you guys like plum, you're gonna get it right here on the first opening salvo of the fragrance. And the plum is actually a curve. So if you know your patchouli, then you need a really good precursor to it. And I would say that this opening salvo is a great precursor to the eventual patchouli of this fragrance. Plum is one of the most famous, most liked notes in the fragrance world, and you're gonna get a really good dose of plum right here. Now the cardamom spice right here is actually a background actor that provides a green, almost like vegetal aroma right here to the plum, and it actually comes in secondary to the plum. Once the plum comes out, you get to enjoy it for its entirety, and then bam, here comes the cardamom. You're gonna smell that green spice, again, kind of vegetal background actor right here. But for me, my favorite out of all of this, on top of the plum, has to be the pomegranate, guys. And the pomegranate right here is a tart balancer It is kind of bitter, the pomegranate right here, so that's why it's a precursor to the patchouli as well. But man, it is like a juicy, tart blast of pomegranate that actually balances the plum that's supposed to be a curve headed into the patchouli. I would say for those who are hyping this fragrance, they probably are hyping the first part as well. And this is before the patchouli because it's a lovely, like I said, plum, pomegranate opener right here. Really balanced with a beautiful plum. But then again, like I told you guys, the tart, glistening pomegranate right here as a balancer is really, really great, with that background of cardamom spice. I would say though that because of the balanced plum, pomegranate, and cardamom opener, this opens up as a regal, elegant vibe that kind of will lean femme, guys, okay? It kind of will lean femme. Like for me, I don't really mind. It's beautiful as it is, but I think the women though are gonna get like an amazing experience wearing this. Kinda leans femme in the beginning, guys. I want you to take a note of that, but man, lovely as always. Now the star of the show of the fragrance, obviously the name is out there, is going to be your patchouli, guys. All right, patchouli is the star of the show, and of course I'm going to discuss with you guys just what kind of patchouli are you getting and how much patchouli are you getting. First and foremost, like I told you guys, the opening salvo sets up the patchouli right here. You've got the curve from the plum and cardamom setting up the patchouli from the get-go, and of course there's that greenness of the cardamom that sets up the patchouli as well. Now the patchouli right here, I will say this, the two things that came into mind when I tried this over and over is that it is clean and woody. Okay, so the woody aspect or the woody edge of the patchouli does come out a lot in this fragrance right here. And it is clean. It is not really as earthy as other iterations of patchouli when you try them on different fragrances. It is definitely clean and it's definitely woody. As the patchouli comes in, the aroma intensifies with Persephone'S Patchouli. So this is an aromatic fragrance, okay? You are going to get a beautiful sillage and a scent trail while wearing Persephone'S Patchouli, and that's why I kind of, you know, really recommend this for the ladies, because it's got a beautiful aroma or scent trail. So as you are walking around or within semi-close distances, I think that it's gonna hit people around you and they're gonna be like, wow, that's really likable right there, because they are going to smell those very appealing notes. Now this patchouli, woody and clean, is accompanied by a dark rose that unfolds a little bit later. I would say under an hour, maybe 45 to 50 minutes, you are going to get a dark Bulgarian rose. Now the thing I'm gonna say is that the dark Bulgarian rose right here is just a little itty bitty background actor, okay? So we have tried a lot of rose patchouli fragrances in the past, and you know, they usually come in like a 50-50 distribution, with the rose actually really unfolding. And you know, a lot of people are gonna say it's a rose fragrance, but in this case with Persephone'S Patchouli, the rose does not overcome the patchouli. Matter of fact, it's just a beautiful background actor here, but you are, like I said, you're gonna get that clean, that woody and beautiful patchouli right here. Now there's also Egyptian jasmine right here on the mid, guys, which is basically a balancer right here. It provides an uplifting floral effect, an uplifting effect actually, which is pretty much the same as how the pomegranate did right there on the opening salvo. So the jasmine gives you some uplifting whiffs while you are getting that aromatic, clean and woody patchouli with the darker rose. Now the thing I'm gonna say right here about the patchouli is that you are getting a good dose of it. You are going to get a very generous dose of this patchouli right here, and it's a good start for those that actually want to get into patchouli. Now, why did I say that you're getting a good dose? That's because the patchouli actually outlasts the other mid notes of rose and jasmine. The patchouli actually goes right into the semi-dry down phase, and you are still gonna smell it as you are smelling the dry down notes. There is no shortage of patchouli here in this fragrance, Persephone'S Patchouli. So it's only right that they actually have it right here on the name. The bridge note that I think is the most notable note right here, headed to the dry down, is none other than honey, guys. All right, it's honey. And again, honey is a very, very likable note right here. It does continue the sweetness, of course, from the beginning. You are going to get plum in the beginning, patchouli in the middle, and then you are going to get the sweetness of honey. And of course, honey in itself is a very, very likable note right here. It is also coupled with amber. So, I mean, I guess it's a combination. You can kind of discern it that there's an ambery type scent on top of the honey. So amber actually fuses with the honey as you are smelling still the patchouli from the mid. Now, as the clean and woody patchouli sort of dies out a little bit on the dry down, guys, it does get replaced by sandalwood. So sandalwood is a big note right here. You're gonna get your creamy sandalwood fix on top of the honey. And I still think though that until the end, the honey amber is going to be prevalent. So I would say that the dry down of this one is amber woods. You're gonna get honey amber and then sandalwood and cedar as well right here on the dry down. In my opinion, Persephone'S Patchouli is a great blend, A++ by Christian Provenzano from start to finish. This fragrance, Persephone'S Patchouli, has notes that in my opinion, if I did a survey on Fragcom on what would be like the most well-liked notes, I think that these notes that this fragrance has, like honey, plum, sandalwood, rose, I think that these will come out on top. And Christian Provenzano did a masterful way of actually putting all these beautiful, well-liked notes surrounding a really clean and woody and semi-sweet patchouli, in my opinion, that again is great. It's digestible. You're not gonna have a divisive outcome like people saying, oh, I don't like the patchouli. I think that the patchouli is perfect right here at the core of this fragrance, but again, it is surrounded by well-liked, well-loved, most popular notes. Now, we talked about this fragrance being aromatic with a scent trail, guys, so you are going to get a beautiful sillage here for hours and hours. The longevity for me, and again, the way I look at longevity is significant scent. I don't count like the skin scent, like really when I try to smell it as a skin scent, I do not count that. For me, the significant scent of this fragrance lasts 9 hours. And past 9, it might turn into a skin scent. But you are gonna get 9 hours. And I would say out of those 9, maybe 7 hours or 6 to 7 hours of that beautiful aromatic sillage right here. So, I mean, when we look at the performance, we look at the sillage, I think that it's worth it to actually purchase this fragrance if you like it. Now, what I always say is try this first. And I know that some of you guys and gals are going to be brave and you're gonna just blind buy it, but I think that the only reason to try this one is to see if this fragrance is unisex enough for you. Now, if we're talking about the ladies, like I said, this is very killer. It's an elegant, likable, beautiful evening time, in my opinion, evening time scent that the ladies can actually wear on any occasion and smell great. But again, for the guys, I think that this will appeal more for those that can straddle that line and can say, hey, you know, I'm okay with wearing fragrances that have sort of like femme nuances. So that's the only reason I would say to try this fragrance. If you're a guy, try it first, see if, you know, it's unisex enough for you. But again, for the ladies, man, without a doubt, I highly recommend it. Also, get this if you like sweet fragrances, guys. So it's gonna be sweet from start to finish. You've got your plum, you've got your Egyptian jasmine and patchouli. The patchouli has a semi-sweet nature as well. And then you also have your honey amber right there in the end. Ultimately, Persephone'S Patchouli is a super appealing fragrance right here. It's a niche fragrance, definitely more on the nighttime elegant type, but it is going to be appealing. I think that most human beings that are going to try this one right here will smell it just like I did in the beginning, and you're gonna be like, whoa, wow, this is amazing, this is nice. If you had that same reaction, comment below. But for me, that was my reaction. That's my reaction every time I actually spray this fragrance. It's very, very appealing, and because of this, there's high usability. There's high usability on this fragrance. Like I said, more towards evening time, nighttime scenarios where you have to smell elegant and lovely with that whiffs of that aroma that will attract people as you walk around the room. Definitely, I suggest that you try it. If you want to blind buy it, I mean, for me, 80-20. You know, 80% you're gonna like it, 20% are not if you just blind buy it. But try it. Go to Crystal Fragrances right here where I got it. Try a sample. It's less than 20 bucks. I think it's gonna save you a lot of money if you test this fragrance first. And that is it. That is my review of Persephone'S Patchouli by Electimuss. This is really a solid fragrance, guys. Definitely check it out, guys. And if you ask me, like, what are my favorite Electimuss fragrances, I've reviewed some of them. The number one for me being Black Caviar. I think that that's just amazing. The scent and the way that they built that fragrance, the uniqueness. I would say Black Caviar is really, really good. And then there's also Imperium for you Aventus heads that are looking for a better alternative. I mean, that's debatable whether it's better or not, but it is an alternative. Imperium is great as well, and I highly recommend this one too, Persephone'S Patchouli. I would put this on like the top 5 of Electimuss for sure, guys, okay? Now, if there are other Electimuss fragrances that you want me to try and review, let me know in the comments below and I will go after them, okay? So thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, thank you for liking and subscribing and continuing to follow and support the channel. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. God bless. Have a great weekend.